What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 mod career mode with Esteban Ocon in the Force IndyCar. We're here for episode number 7 today for the Canadian Grand Prix. Now, although I did say the last time out at Monaco that we probably won't get this series done, I'm still going to push forward and try and still record some more episodes before we reach the F1 2017 game actually coming out next week on Friday, because, well, I enjoy racing this career mode, and there's plenty of you guys who still want to see it, so we're just going to plow on and see how far we can go, really. But a good day for us in qualifying with 5th place there. Really solid ahead of both Red Bull cars. And obviously last time in the season we did with Raikkonen, we saw that the two Force India cars were actually pretty decent against the Red Bull cars around here at Canada. Obviously long back straight to use the Mercedes engine versus the Renault, so we did pretty damn well, especially against our teammate Perez, who's down in 9th place. So all round very decent day on Saturday, but overcast at the moment here in Montreal, so could be some rain. There was some in Raikkonen's version of this race, I guess you could say, so we'll have to see. But also just to know, you're seeing this video right now. If you did see the vlog I uploaded on Saturday, well, my PC's all fine and fixed right now, so hooray for that. But we're going to get straight into it. We go to 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix. 5 red lights are out and we're underway, and Bottas with an absolutely electric start there off 4th position. He goes 3 wide with Lewis Hamilton and Raikkonen. We've had an okay start there. They go 3 wide. Hamilton and Bottas make some contact. Raikkonen's forced wide off the front row, and so it's Vettel out in the lead. Hamilton in second, going still side by side with Bottas. We fend and are able to overtake Kimi Raikkonen through turn 2, so up into 4th place now, and Hamilton hits the wall there as Bottas forces him wide. So all calamities there for Raikkonen then. One of the fins, the other fin does pretty damn well there with an electric start there for Bottas. Up into second now, chasing after Sebastian Vettel as we move later into the Grand Prix. We're right up the chuff of Lewis Hamilton there, getting away from Raikkonen and Tad, and then behind Raikkonen the 2 Red Bull cars following close behind, but up into rich mix now, and no DRS quite yet, just pure slipstream. But it looks like to me Hamilton is either in standard or lean mix, because I'm gaining quite a bit of time here in rich mix. We go down the inside, we're going to go side by side through the chicane, very tricky. We leave Hamilton in the room though, crucially get very close to the wall of champions there, and then behind us then, as we overtake Hamilton, he's offset, lost a lot of momentum. It's Max Verstappen who's made an overtake on Hamilton and going down the inside of Raikkonen there, so Verstappen with a double overtake potentially round the outside into turn 2. Look at that behind, Ricciardo and Hamilton tangle then on the rear tyre, so it's both the Red Bull cars going for a move round the outside, identical moves they're making. Verstappen swings round the outside, Ricciardo the same, and it's a beautiful move there for Max Verstappen, and he's up the order now, up into what will be 4th place as yellow flags now open up, and is that smoke ahead? Sebastian Vettel as well. Wow, what a crazy lap 2 in towards lap 3. So much action now, the 2 Red Bull cars doing bits, and now Sebastian Vettel, where is he? There he is, out this Grand Prix, engine on fire, up in smokes, and he's out of this Grand Prix. So now in a split second, we've gone from 4th to 2nd, and Valtteri Bottas leads the way, and Verstappen is up into the podium positions in 3rd place. What a cracking start this has been for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're on to lap 5 now, so 2 laps later under the safety car, and it's starting to rain. If you look closely, if I zoom in a little bit to my chassis, you may be able to see a little bit of the colours kind of changing the tone of it. That's the rain coming down. You just can't see it quite well, and I think, you know what, let's gamble. Let's go for it. Let's go for this gamble. I want to see if this pays off. Maybe we can get into the lead of this Grand Prix if we do play the dice a little bit. Obviously we're in the Force India, so you know, we have to do these things sometimes to try and get the place. We're not going to get it on pure pace, so let's just try and do it here. So we're going to go on to a set of intermediate green wall tyres, and yeah, as I said, just roll the dice and see how it goes. No one else is doing it, so okay, may not work out. Let's see. We're still going to be on the safety car for 1 more lap, so we're going to have 1 more lap to hopefully pray that the rain comes down even more. But we're going to come out just ahead of Julian Palmer there, and behind Kevin Magnussen, the Haas car, in 13th place. So not too bad actually, but we'll see obviously on the restart here as we move on now to the end of lap 6, on towards lap 7. Green flag is a go off the final corner. Really poor exit there, and Julian Palmer's going to come on the left-hand side to try and overtake us. He has done so actually. Can we try and outbrake him round the outside into turn 1? We go very deep, narrowly just missed going off track, but then through turn 2, just on the switchback move, you've got Vandoorne down my inside, Alonso down my inside, so both Mclaren cars do the switchback on me. Pascal Wehrlein down my inside then, as the other Sauber of Ericsson goes side by side with Carlos Sainz, who's had a bit of a mare in this Grand Prix so far, down in P18, but we're down to P17 now, lost a heap of positions, but then as we move swiftly on to the end of lap 8 now, only a lap later, we're now finally closing back up to Alonso, and there's a huge train ahead of us. Look at that. So as we lose the back end a little bit, we actually swing back to overtake Alonso. Now down this back straight, gaining the speed on Vandoorne, and now it is definitely time for these guys to come into Inters. So I think this is kind of like deja vu, just like what happened in the Raikkonen version of this race. We called it a little bit too early on Inters, but this time now for us, obviously, we're in a Force Indy car, so maybe you don't have the advantage of such a good car to come back in it. But although there are a heap of people in the pit, so we're up into 4th place now. Will it be any more as we go into turn 1? DRS is enabled, and then it's disabled straight away, which I thought was quite funny. So straight away, obviously, after you have the safety car coming in, after 2 laps, the DRS will be enabled. But then, obviously, because it's now raining, that is the official switchover point for the Inters. You can see Massa still on Ultras, so we come through into 3rd place now, up into the podium positions. Then Daniel Ricciardo is still on Ultras up ahead. So as soon as we overtake him, we'll be back to where we were. So actually, the gamble has pretty much paid off, and I think it may pay off more, because I think that car up ahead, as we overtake Ricciardo very, very narrowly there, as we lose the back end, I believe that car up ahead is Lewis Hamilton. So as we move on to later into that lap 9, we eventually do close up. So this gamble has well and truly paid off here, and we're up into 1st place. So just like the Chinese Grand Prix, we've played the dice a little bit, we've done some clever strategy work there, and we're up into 1st place now of the Canadian Grand Prix. Lofty heights, obviously, for the Force IndyCar and Esteban Ocon there, obviously, as we go on to lap 10 now. And now it's a case of, as we can see, I think Raikkonen is the one in 2nd place there, and then Julian Palmer at the moment in 3rd. Now it's a case of just trying to defend from Raikkonen, because obviously he is going to close up to us. All these guys in top cars are going to close up to us. You know, we're in the Force IndyCar, but onto lap 14, Raikkonen does do that. But now, can we try and defend? That is the crucial question here. As we go into the 2nd chicane of the lap, we go side by side. I leave Raikkonen all the room in the world there, to be fair to me, I think, and we still keep 1st place. So we put off Raikkonen a little bit. Obviously, that outside turn turns to the inside for the 2nd part of the chicane. So pretty decent defending from us there. Now Hamilton back behind makes a move on one of the Renault cars. I think it's Nico Hülkenberg there. So Hamilton at this point in time is behind Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, Lance Stroll, and then it is going to be Julian Palmer and then Kimi Raikkonen. So Hamilton a fair few positions down the order, but looking good. Meanwhile, I don't know where Valtteri Bottas is in all this. I think he's really been the one that's caught out the worst here in all of this safety car and intermediate period business. But you can see we're now being caught by Kimi Raikkonen once again on lap 20 now. That's when Hamilton overtook Hülkenberg, so we're on the same exact lap of that move, and now Raikkonen is in the mirrors there on the left hand side. We're going to just park it right in the middle, a little bit awkward, but fair enough to us. I mean, Raikkonen really didn't have his nose in at all, so I've got all the right to kind of park it right in the middle there. And now into the hairpin though, we've lost the back end a little bit, didn't get the best traction. We go for the defensive move, but Raikkonen forces his way through. I was moving to the right hand side to try and close off the inside. Doesn't work out. We're going to try a bit of a half switch back here, but Raikkonen does get the traction on us, so unable to make the move then to kind of get back up on the traction of on the hairpin. But now we're going to have to just stick behind in slipstream, of course, under intermediate conditions, no DRS, but pure slipstream here, and it's going to work well for us. We're going to go down the inside once again, just like we did on Hamilton's going to be very, very close. We'll leave Raikkonen in the room. Raikkonen actually closes up a lot more than Hamilton ever did down the inside there, and gives me a run for my money, but we do get it around the outside there, and crucially we stay in 1st place. But you can see behind us the Renault car of Julian Palmer, quite surprisingly, still there in 3rd place, Lance Stroll in 4th, and Verstappen in 5th place. There's the sun starts to come out a little bit, I think, here in this afternoon. I think it definitely looks a little bit lighter than it was before, but you can see the Renault and Williams car closing up, as well as the Red Bull car just about probably in that panning shot, not quite, but I think Verstappen is closing up on us. So this entire top 5, top 6 even, maybe with Hamilton also closing up, is we're all going to bunch up here now, as at the moment I am struggling to keep Raikkonen behind. We're on to lap 21 as we come through. Raikkonen and Palmer come to the pits, and the same for Verstappen there, who really has closed up a lot in that last lap. Stroll's the only one to stay with me, as well as my teammate Sergio Perez, but maybe that is why Raikkonen was closing up to me, because my tyres may be going off a little bit. I haven't really looked too much at the tyre wear, to be completely honest, on the onboard and the heads-up display. So on the very next lap, lap 22, as Stroll is looking very dangerously closing up to me, I think it's time to come in. Surely you have to just try and cover off Raikkonen and the rest of the cars. If Stroll's closing up to us that fast, then I'm a little bit wary even of Julian Palmer, and maybe also Max Verstappen, because Verstappen had some great pace, great pace to close up on those cars previously on that kind of first intermediate stint. And calamities for us under the pit stop bases, under the pit stop in the pit lane. Stroll's jumped us, so I get some bad luck in my drive with the Jaguar car and a pit stop. And here with a Force India car, with the Force India lads, I've got some more bad luck here. So as we come out, we narrowly just come out ahead of Max Verstappen's Red Bull car, and it looks like has he jumped Palmer, or is that Hulkenberg? I think he's jumped Palmer there. So he stayed ahead of Palmer, but Verstappen's jumped Palmer in the pits, and Stroll's jumped me. So very, very unfortunate. And as well, clearly Kimi Raikkonen now. So it's Raikkonen from Stroll, myself, Verstappen, then I think it's Julian Palmer, and then I think it is my teammate, and then Hamilton, who's not too far behind now. We move on to lap 25, so 3-4 laps later, and we've got 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. But as we come to the hairpin now, DRS enabled, which is pretty much as I said earlier on in this episode. That's the official switchover point, basically, on F1 2016, if you didn't know. So we're going to come in for a set of dry tyres now. So actually, in hindsight, that second stint, I feel like we could have maybe stretched it, but obviously you can say a lot in hindsight in reality. So, you know, we just didn't know how long the rain was going to go for. We didn't know it was going to go on for ages or not. Yeah, so we come in now anyway, just ahead of Verstappen, and I'm a little bit wary now if he's going to jump us. There's Raikkonen. Raikkonen's been held up an absolute treat there by about two cars worth there as we were coming down the pit lane. But now we've been held up. That definitely was a Red Bull. That was a Red Bull. Where is it? Oh, we can't see it from this angle. There it is. Max Verstappen has jumped us. Oh, for crying out loud. So we've been jumped by 2 cars now in 2 pit stops in a row. We find ourselves behind Verstappen now in 4th place. We're all on ultra soft tyres, I believe. But it is now, I think Raikkonen still leads the way despite being held up. But now I need to worry about maybe trying my best to overtake a Red Bull car. Obviously, we beat them in qualifying, but now in the race, it's always a different story in the race because you've got dirty air. You know, you just got defensive driving, but at the moment it's now Kimi Raikkonen that still leads the Grand Prix, so fair play to him. From Lance Stroll, Max Verstappen, myself, behind us is Julian Palmer, and then it's actually Lewis Hamilton, so it looks like my teammate Sergio Perez has really fallen off the cliff in this race, unfortunately for us and as a team. But now we're at the end of lap 26, going on to lap 27. We're chasing down Verstappen. We've got DRS, so we're within 1 second. But at the moment, the plan is hopefully that I'm really bagging on maybe Verstappen making a move on Stroll, and maybe we can just kind of follow along and catch Stroll napping potentially as we move on to lap 20. At the end of lap 27, on towards lap 28, though, Raikkonen sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. But then Hamilton pops in the fast lap of the Grand Prix. You can see on the top left, he's overtaken Palmer, and now he's up into P5. So now at this point, 1 lap later, now I'm actually getting worried that Hamilton may be the one closing up on all of us, and maybe the one to go all the way up into P2 with how strong that Mercedes car is, in towards lap 29, at the end of Sector 1. I've been so poor in this traction zone the entire race with this Force India, and Hamilton steams up down the inside like nothing, comes in like a flash down the inside. You can see I brake very early because at this point I make a switch decision. Okay, let Hamilton through, and let's hope he can overtake Verstappen and Stroll, maybe pull me through and try and catch maybe both Verstappen and Stroll napping. If I can get Verstappen this afternoon, that'll be awesome, because it looks like at the moment he has some very decent pace, although he's unable to get Stroll on the straights. It's kind of a very weird situation. Stroll's got the pace on a straight line, obviously, with the Williams car having the Mercedes engine. Verstappen's got it in the corners. Hamilton has both, but he's obviously lost so much time in the previous few laps, and I kind of have a mix of everything really in the Force India car. I'm kind of in the middle, so I don't actually have the best car all round at any point in this circuit, so I'm just trying my hardest to try and catch up to these guys, keep up with them. You can see I've got DRS and Hamilton. We do keep up with him into the brake zone. You can see both of us, even though it looks like I'm getting held up by Hamilton at this point, we're both equally catching Verstappen and Stroll again. So yeah, a little bit of a weird tactical race, this one. Trying my best to play a bit of chess here, and basically how I run this race. We're on lap 32 now. Gap pretty much the same for me to Hamilton, but now you can clearly see Verstappen a lot closer to Hamilton. So as we go down the main back straight, we're open DRS. Hamilton's going to open DRS as well. So let's see, does he have the pace? We're in rich mix with DRS. You can see very, very equal on pace now. So I really get the feeling when we overtook Hamilton earlier in the Grand Prix, I really do think him and the rest of the AI cars were maybe in standard and lean, and they've saved most of their rich mix for now at the end of this Grand Prix, because now with rich mix and DRS, obviously Hamilton has the exact same now, and it's all equalized, whereas before I was actually able to very rapidly catch Hamilton in a straight line. So I do think Hamilton saved a lot of rich mix for this part of the race. But as we move on to lap 34, as my tyres start to go off a little bit, we have issues on that back end there. Still the same. Stroll in second place, Verstappen third. At this point, Raikkonen's pretty much just chilling out in first place. Hamilton, still the gap is the same. I've actually lost some time to Hamilton, but the gap visually, it looks like up ahead to Hamilton and Verstappen is the same. But once again, down this back straight, just doesn't look like Hamilton has the pace, surprisingly, to close up to Verstappen, because Verstappen, obviously, this entire time has DRS on Stroll. So very much and actually kind of more like a real-life 2017 race in a way, where you've just got so much turbulent air and DRS equalizes each other. You just can't make the move. It's proving very, very difficult. Kind of like the opening few rounds of the 2017 season, where there just wasn't. You need a lot of overspeed to actually make the move in a straight line. As we move on to the final lap of the Grand Prix, it's still Lance Stroll in second place. At this point, Raikkonen's done and booked his win, basically. He's probably going through the last few corners now. Verstappen still in third place. A brilliant podium for him. This will be, obviously for Stroll, will be a crazy second place. And now we're trying our best to close up to Hamilton now and trying to make a last-ditch effort. But really, in reality, I'm going to put my hands up and just say I've actually bottled this a little bit. I've really not done this race strategy quite well. In hindsight, going all the way back to the intermediate periods, I should have just stayed out on those inter tires, because we would have just defended our hardest, and that would have been a better opportunity to just at least get a podium, if not maybe the win. But Raikkonen has gone and got that 25 points in the bag. We come home in the same place we qualified, unfortunately, this afternoon. Frustrating, because the car definitely did have the pace to defend from cars. We didn't have enough pace to attack cars, but what could have been? But anyway, that's the way racing goes sometimes. So Lance Stroll gets a brilliant second place. And I want to say, before anyone says it, I do have Lance Stroll's AI as the worst of the two Williams cars. So that's just pure luck and good strategy from Lance Stroll's AI there in this career mode race to get second place. Technically, Massa's AI car is better in this career mode mod, but there you go. Lance Stroll just getting a little bit lucky there. So in the championship, though, that heats things up quite a bit, because now Hamilton is only 122 to 119 with Raikkonen. So only 3 points separates those two there, the Brit and the Finn. So that actually hots up the championship quite a bit. And the constructors, Ferrari do close up a little bit on Mercedes car, on the Mercedes team. For us, in third, we're still ahead of Red Bull, thankfully, but you can see they're closing up a little bit. 20 points the difference between Force India and Red Bull, and Williams do a good job to close up a little bit, 58 points. So looking like maybe it's three-way scrap between third, fourth, and fifth. I mean, unfortunately, as I said, we may not see how it ends really in reality, guys. I'm sorry for that, but, you know, as I said, because I'm enjoying racing it, there's a fair amount of you guys who are still enjoying this Ocon career mode. I'm going to continue to do it until we get to probably the midway through next week, and then we'll kind of just quietly end it there. But we'll see how it goes for the next few rounds and see how many episodes we can get into it. So guys, once again, if you did enjoy the episode, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. Hopefully there will be some more actual F1 2017 content, maybe to show you guys in the next week or so. Perhaps we'll see. Trailers, I don't know at this stage. I actually don't know, so we'll see. We'll just have to see. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.